Good morning and welcome to GMFB. We're presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Thanks to our friends there for hanging out with us and sponsoring us and keeping us fueled for a 3-hour highlight show. We're in the thick of it. Hour number 2, live in New York City. My name's Kay Adams. Thank you for waking up and choosing us this morning with Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, and Hall of Fame wide receiver Cris Carter.
Hey!
Kyle Brandt's best friend.
That's right. Yes, we have a lot of fun stuff going on.
Are we having animosity across the table with us today?
I think Justin Fields has caused a little bit of tension between the two of you.
Yeah, your biceps are bulging. They're touching me all the way across the table.
You're constantly remarking on the biceps, which I appreciate. I will break them out if you show up in a gold jacket. Did you think about wearing your gold jacket today at all?
I keep one around me.
You do?
I keep one around me.
One?
Do you have multiple?
I do have multiple, yes. I have a little slim fit. I have one when I'm about 225, but right now I'm about 250.
Does everyone have multiple ones?
I don't know about them.
You have a heavy one and a slim one?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That's a thing?
I have the European cut, a little short in the back. I got that from my man Marcus Allen.
Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, Hager. We appreciate it.
That's awesome. I never heard that in my life. I thought it was just one, and then you're set for life.
Yeah, every once in a while I get mad at my wife, when she's mad at me, I just throw my jacket on and walk around the house. She's like, you're no Hall of Famer here.
Jacket only or other clothes too?
It's a kid's show.
We don't know. Highlights, I guess. Take it away.
Grab the old track.
I got it in my luggage. You might be able to touch it.
All right, my man.
We should do like a gold jacket segment.
That's awesome. Irvin had a take once about wearing his gold jacket with his wife, and it was an incredible line. Still hears about all this. All right, so Lamar Jackson, will he have a gold jacket? TBD, not on this play. Tyrann Mathieu, who missed last week with COVID. They tried to get him to play a tightness in his chest, and Andy Reid said no. He has 2 interceptions in the first quarter, including a pick 6. Mahomes thought, oh, we're going to roll in this one. Not so fast, my friend. Third quarter, let's jump all the way ahead to that. It is now 28-17, and Lamar, Chris, take us through this beautiful jump pass.
A jump pass. He's able to, he knew he couldn't get out the outside because the defensive end had a 7 technique and got upfield. So he steps up in the pocket, realizes he needs a little more time, so he elevates himself, a little no-look, a little Magic Johnson.
Little Magic Johnson with just a little bit of Kareem in the skyhook. I don't mind it at all. 28-24, though. This is the best highlight of the night. Just watch the Mahomes to Kelsey experience. Someday this play will be played in Canton when one or both of them go in together. Look at Kelsey. Not a young man in the tight ends game. He's 26 years old. Bam! God, that's a great play. It just kept going. He gets tackled by Ellis, number 71.
Cleveland, Ohio's finest, right?
All right, so 35-24, he is definitely a proud Ohioan. But now Mahomes, wait, watch this. It's always Mahomes. Oh, he can do some crazy arm angles, and it always works. Not here. Tavon Young intercepts him. It's the first interception he's ever thrown. Tavon Young intercepts him. That's the answer to the trivia question. First September interception thrown by Patrick Mahomes. Fourth quarter, though, look at this running game. God is running. Whoop! I'm going to do it again because CC loves the boomer highlights. He's rumbling, stumbling. Tick, 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 tick. Peter, Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech, but no, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, as they used to say, puts the ball on the ground. And who stripped it? Odafe Oweh. Let's all say it together. Odafe Oweh, the rookie from Penn State, first-round pick of the Ravens.
Went by Jason Oweh all his career and then gets drafted. The day of the draft, he's like, guess what? My real name, what I want to be called, is this.
That's right. It is Odafe, and I just made a big play. But hold on. The Ravens have the lead. They have to get a first down, or they're going to give the ball to that man. You don't want to ever do it. You say, you want to go for it? Lamar, do you want to go for it? All right, let's go for it. That was the absolutely perfect lip read, if I don't say so myself. And Lamar, they call his own number. It's over. It's over. They run right up the middle. Project Pat Ricard loves it, the Maine Black Bear. And the Baltimore Ravens defend their house. And John Harbaugh gets a lift.
That's awesome.
You don't see a lot of that. And look at that. Patrick Mahomes, you don't see a lot of that either. Congratulating the opposing young AFC quarterback in a loss. 36-35. Collinsworth says at the end, our announcer is allowed to applaud. I want to applaud after that game. Yes, they are, Chris, and so are we. Lamar, what does it mean to get that win against Patrick Mahomes? And what a show was this?
For the fans, it was a great show. You know, like you said, we're going back and forth. It's looking crazy when I threw 2 picks first quarter, 1 for a pick 6. It's like, oh, they might lose again, you know. But we held our own, you know. We stayed focused. My team, like I said, they stayed with me. We came out on top. Yeah, it felt good, you know. It felt good to get that Monk Alpha back. It just felt good, you know. Got to move on to Detroit now. You know, we ain't win the Super Bowl yet. It's just one game. We just got to keep staying focused.
So interesting, he even brought up the Super Bowl. We're so quick to indict players and talk about what they can't do, Chris. And there's Lamar, just keeps checking things off of the box. The Super Bowl, of course, a huge goal of his. What did that win over the Chiefs mean for the Ravens? Not only the Ravens, but really for this guy's MVP pick, Lamar Jackson, personally.
Well, we've been impressed with Lamar. We know that they have to improve the passing game for them to stay amongst the elite teams in the league. But what we saw was his confidence won't be shattered. Their belief in the organization, Bisciotti, the general manager, the head coach, the trainers, like they believe in this kid. And you can see it right from the beginning. Why? Because I throw one to the opposite jersey. Honey Badger gets one early. Okay, no problem. Honey Badger is disguising an all-out blitz on the second interception, totally fools Lamar. Comes from the backside, looks like he's going to be guarding the guy in the slot, Peter. Oh, no, I'm going back to center field and robs him blind on the second interception. So typically, we've seen it. Coach, oh, yeah, we believe in them. But that game plan starts changing. They start getting conservative. At that point, they got very, very aggressive. He is one of the handful of young quarterbacks after a rough start, after getting off, not the way they designed it, that he can recover. We see these young quarterbacks get crushed when they make mistakes, then they get conservative, then they play afraid. Lamar is one of the true superstars in the league, and we just have to adjust our eye. If you're a football historian, he is not Randall Cunningham. He is not Michael Vick. He's not Steve Young. But he has the support around them that will allow him to maximize his ability. He's a superstar, and it was glad to see him get over that hump because it was a real hump.
I think it's a great point you make that he's not those guys, and I think we consistently want to say, okay, Lamar actually can throw the ball as well as anyone too. I don't think he can throw the ball as well as anybody. It's not his game. And guess what? The Ravens know that, and they've built an entire organization around what Lamar does great, and that is run the ball down your throat and cause you nightmares. He is as steel as it comes when it comes to confidence. He does not ever back down. And yet, Greg Roman's offense is built to operate around Lamar Jackson, not around Steve Young, not around Patrick Mahomes, not around Josh Allen, around Lamar. It is a custom offense. I thought Marquez Valdez-Scantling, of all the people tonight,
Packers receiver,
had a great tweet during the game. I follow all the NFL players. He just said this: 8 different. He's different. He's not like everyone else. So let's stop comparing him to this quarterback for his passing yards and this one. He is look at this. This is the rushing leaders in the entire NFL right now. Look who's number 3 in the league. Lamar Jackson. He's 3rd in the league. He's different. So let's not worry about where he stacks up versus Justin Herbert or where he stacks up versus Josh Allen, because he's playing a totally different position in some ways. He is the Ravens quarterback, and they run an offense that is unlike what the LA Chargers run. It's unlike what Jameis is running, and that's okay. To constantly worry about where he stacks up with his passing yards and where it's foolish. I know Lamar can pass when he has to. He did it last year against Tennessee. But why would you force that to make some sort of statement? What they did last night showed they doubled down on the rushing. They doubled down with what Lamar does, and the Chiefs couldn't stop him. I love what it was from Lamar, and I love that he is different. Let's embrace it.
8 different.
8 different. No verb. 8 different.
You don't need a verb.
No verb.
I thought he was enjoying Troy Aikman's call. He was talking about him. No, he was talking about Lamar.
Talking about Lamar.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. The Chiefs have lost 2 of 3. They've lost 2 of 3 now, and they've lost kind of in compelling fashion. Last night, the defense couldn't stop anybody. And I have to bring this up again. Bring it up. None of these young, great AFC quarterbacks had ever beaten them before. And you know why? Because I grew up in Chicago in the 90s, and there would be these Eastern Conference series that were warm-up series for the Bulls. And these guys, I look at them all as, that's Patrick Ewing, that's Reggie Miller, that's Dominique Wilkins, it's Gerald Wilkins, it's Craig Elo. That's all those guys. None of them can beat Jordan. They just shot the Bulls. The Pacers just beat the Bulls in the second round. It's crazy. It absolutely happened. And look, I know that we get struck by lightning if we say Mahomes isn't perfect. Mahomes threw a really bad interception in this game. Really bad. A reckless interception in which he thinks he can do anything, and he's falling, and it gets picked off. And that was a huge mistake that he made, and he'll do it again. I just think we can breathe if you're a fan of these AFC teams. This idea that Mahomes is unbeatable or like Thanos, he's inevitable. He's not. He's human. He bleeds. He cuts. He bleeds. And I think it's a much more interesting AFC now because the other guys are still in line to do it too.
Lamar can't win a playoff game? Check.
Yeah.
Lamar can't beat the
Mahomes.
Chiefs? Check. Lamar can contend in the AFC with a different team, 8 different, built around him, still waiting to be checked off. We'll see how that goes. But let's not forget he's 24 years old and continues to develop, evolve. And I do think that at the end of the day, he will have checked off all of those doubters' check marks. But let's talk about just the AFC in general, or even the Ravens back to week 1, falling to the Raiders. These are 2 teams just sitting with you for a couple of days. I know that you were particularly impressed with.
Well, you got to be impressed with what happened in Vegas and traveled 6 days to Pittsburgh, and it carried over into last night's game. I was in Vegas last Monday. It was a zoo. And if you're a football fan, if you get a chance to go to Vegas, go to the stadium, it's worth it. But for them to lose the game the way they lost, I think they got in at 7 in the morning the next day. And to be able to put on the type of performance after the first quarter, it lets you know there are certain teams that have mental toughness. There are people that have things in their locker room, but the Baltimore Ravens have it. And I also got to say, I'm impressed with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Most impressed. 2 playoff teams from last year. What? 2 wins. All right? John Gruden, he might not be lying to us this time.
Wow, I hope not.
At GMFB, we hope not. We hope it continues. Of course, just the world's a better place when all these teams are in contention. Ian Rappaport joining us now. Rough Sunday, my friend, for some starting quarterbacks around the league. Let's do it this way. I would just like a quick rundown of Tua Tagovailoa, Andy Dalton in Chicago, Carson Wentz with the Colts, and, of course, Tyrod Taylor. What's going on?
Well, we'll start with Tua with the Miami Dolphins. We saw him in significant pain on the sideline, tried to walk to the locker room, ended up being carted off with what was later called a rib injury. It is bruised ribs for Tua. He's going to have more tests this morning just to see, are there rib cartilage issues? Is there damage going on there besides just bruised ribs? X-rays were negative. That's good. If there's no cartilage issue, probably should be able to play this week, but the tests will show more. Meanwhile, for Bears quarterback Andy Dalton, we saw him take kind of a misstep, it seems, on the sideline. Just didn't seem quite right. Ended up coming back in the game just briefly, and then it was Justin Fields, the rookie that everybody wanted to see. A test after the game showed he did not tear his ACL, according to Coach Matt Nagy. My understanding is one strong possibility is a bone bruise, and he's going to have more tests today just to ascertain how significant that actually is. Meanwhile, for the Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz, we saw, rolled his ankle a little bit, kind of came down, getting on a tackle from Aaron Donald. Nobody wants that. Tried to go back in. You could see the frustration on the sideline, slammed his helmet a little bit. It was Jacob Eason coming in for him and throwing an interception, actually. Wentz not able to go back in the game. He's going to have tests today. It didn't seem overly significant, but obviously we will know more later today. And then finally, Tyrod Taylor scored a touchdown against the Browns. Kind of looked a little weird, kind of gimpy. It seems that he hurt his hamstring. Tried to come back in the game and actually did come back, but was not himself. Ended up giving way to Davis Mills. From what I understand, he's going to have tests today, but he is not expected to play Thursday night against the Carolina Panthers.